Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your February 2021 money and career reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again, a reminder not to engage with anyone in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is a scammer, and you will not be getting a reading from me, but from whoever that is. All right, so don't be scammed, just a warning. Okay, so now let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. Now let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Capricorn. February 2021 money and career, 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 Capricorn. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Now I'm doing things a little bit differently just because change is fun. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Okay, that one. And now let's see. Oh, goodness. Sorry. Got something in my eye. Now let's see what your chakra cards have to say. Capricorn. February 2021 money and career, Capricorn. February 2021 money and career, Capricorn. February 2021 money and career, Capricorn. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. I love how one just fell right out. It's like, listen to me. So we're going to start with this one first. We have Earth Mother, which is the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. Then we have Inspiration, the Sacral Chakra. And we're going to see how all this comes together in a moment. And we have Self-Mastery, which is the Solar Plexus Chakra. Now let's see the energy that you have to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Capricorn has to be mindful of? February 2021, money and career. What is the energy that Capricorn has to be mindful of? February 2021, money and career. What is the energy that Capricorn has to be mindful of? February 2021, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Fantastic. We have Justice, which is Libra energy. Now, it's not saying to be mindful simply of Libras, so it can manifest itself that way within your life, but it's being mindful of this energy represented by Justice, okay? And then we have here the King of Swords, again, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then we have the King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Let's see what the tarot says. We have the Five of Voice, the Five of Swords, the Three of Inspiration, the Three of Wands, the Ace of Materials, the Ace of Cups, the Two of Voice, the Two of Swords, the King of Inspiration, the King of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Emperor, representing Aries energy, March 21st to April 19th. But it's also being the ruler. You're very much taking things, you're taking the reins of the horse, is what I'm seeing here, because of the Knight and because of the Emperor. You're really leading yourself into the place that you want to be. You're really looking at the battle that you stand for within your life. It's kind of like the truth that you stand for within this time. Okay. So that's going to be very important. And you're going to see yourself at a crossroads. And there's a gift of divinity, from divinity, that comes in the realm of prosperity. Now, this is either wealth or something you value as much as money. So you're going to start to step back and look at what it is that you truly want, where it is that you truly need to be, what it is that you desire. And there are seeds being planted that are really going to inspire you, but they're also going to break preconceived notions that you had planted around you, ideas and ideals, or other people's ideals that you had around wealth. And you're really freeing yourself from this. You're looking at a new horizon, very much. There's a new horizon, moving you forward. And there's a sense of looking at the trauma and the drama that you have been through and reclaiming your passion, reclaiming your power, reclaiming your purpose, reclaiming what it is that's intrinsically so absolutely important to you. All right. Now, with that said, let's look at the energy that you have to be mindful of during this time. No, actually, Spirit's saying, look at the chakra energy first. Okay, let's go for it. We start off with Mother Earth. Mother Earth, the Earth Star chakra, again, located 6 inches below your feet. This is a sense of connecting with your earthly self. Now, this is also a sense, I always see the Earth Star chakra as being every single step that we take, connecting us with the earth. Now, whether this be in the polite way forward, or polite, well, I guess so, for our souls and for ourselves, or in a way that, kind of steps us backwards. It's the way that we connect with our earth at this time. This is also going to say that this is also saying that you're very impacted by the weather where you are. Now, if you're like me, I live in the Northern Hemisphere in a very cold, kind of especially now gray place, and it can wear on you. It really, really can, especially after the year that we've had. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't want this. So here, just be very mindful of how you feel, how you are responding to the weather. And I'm going to link in the description box below this wonderful video that I watched here on YouTube about vitamin D and gut health and sleep, and it was just really quite amazing. So especially if you do live in a colder climate and you might not have the vitamin D that you need, which most of us actually on this planet don't, really, really check that out. It's highly informative. It's long, yes, but it's brilliant. So here, with connecting with your earthly self, connecting with Mother Earth, with the caring, with the nurturing, but also with the storms, with the blizzards, with the hurricanes, with the tornadoes. I mean, we always think of Mother Earth as being this kind, benevolent, loving being. And yes, she is. But she's also the storms. She's also the rage. So here, just being mindful of that within ourselves as we're connecting to where we need to be within our lives and what it is that we desire. That there's going to be a fierceness to you as well as a stepping into harmony. It leads you to inspiration. Now, this is the sacral chakra. This is where a lot of negativity is held from this life and from past lives. So there's a new dawn definitely coming to you. It's on your horizon is what Spirit is saying, which I think is very funny. But it's opening up opening up greater understandings, opening up a greater world of what you need, of what you want, of what you desire within your life. So the inspiration walks you forward. The inspiration leads you to something more, leads you to being inspired within yourself. This also leads you to looking at the negativity that was implanted within you. Now, this could be from when you were little. We call this generational curses, which I think is a rather dramatic term, but it's the negativity that's passed down from generation from generation. This is how your parents were raised, or whomever raised you were raised. This is what they're going to instill in you. It can be, a hair-triggered temper. It can be, kind of taking things and taking things and taking things until they just explode. That type of stuff, that's what we inherit. And for better or for worse, that starts to be the foundation for which we build our lives off of. And it also starts to be the coping mechanisms, right, from when we were little that got instilled in us, that we use to deal with our situations, that are part of us today. So there is something here where you're meeting with something, and it's very much around this earthly life. So it can be about past lives. It can be about things where you're sitting there and you're saying, I don't know why I am so afraid of this, or I don't know why I lose my voice when, or why I can't ask for a raise, or why I'm afraid to go and get the job that I actually want. And you're going to find that it was instilled in you usually when you're very young, but it can also be when you had your heart opened and you made yourself vulnerable. Things did not work out the way that you thought they would. So during this time of inspiration, you're looking at what it is that you desire, but you're also needing to look at the fear within you and have a conversation. I know it sounds silly to say, I need to have a conversation with my fear, but having a conversation, naming it, letting it have a face, giving it even a name, and saying, why? Why is this fear of success? Why is this fear of people noticing me coming forward? Why is there fear of taking time for myself? And you're going to see that there's this conversation that comes forward. There's this power that starts to become a part of you. And it can even be, why is it that I always have chaos? Why is it that there are always battles? And see what opens up. See what is said, because you're going to find that, especially with the sacral chakra, once it gets named, once it gets a voice, it becomes part of your creative passion. It doesn't become a foe anymore, but it becomes an aid. It's like, okay, when I start to feel like this, know that it's time to step back, it's time to regroup, it's time to look at myself more deeply, more honestly, and you're going to see that new dawn coming because of this. And then we have self-mastery. You have the mastery of the inner self. You have the mastery of your power, of what you desire, of what you need, of what you're looking for. So self-mastery is when you feel chaotic, and it will come most definitely during this time. When you feel chaotic, when you feel overwhelmed, when there's doubts, when there's questions, there's a sense here of listening to your gut, listening to what you really desire, listening to your understanding, your greater truth, your emotions, and letting that guide you, but also saying, is this in alignment with me? Or is this me saying, I just need a solution, and so I'm just going to grasp on to whatever comes first? Because that's going to be something to be mindful of during this time, because what you're battling here, and that's why divinity said do the chakras first, what you're battling here is other people's voices being louder than your own. So we have kings coming in and we have justice. So it's almost like an immovable force. Once a king's decree was passed down, it was like, that's it, we're done, right? And once the law speaks, it's like, okay, we're done. So here, there's almost this finality of people that you're running into during this time, Capricorn. And we can see that with the Five of Swords, these are people, they might not be the same exact person, but these are situations and the personality types of people that you have run into before. And this is really going to make you want to sit there and say, I can't do this, or, oh my gosh, this is too overwhelming, or, they're right, I'm wrong, fine. I just don't want to. But with justice here, this is a person who is going to be looking at either what's good for everybody and saying it has to be good for everyone or else it's just not good at all. And that's not really fair, because I forget who wrote this book, but it keeps on coming up in my mind, where it was like society had to be fair. So you couldn't lift everybody up. So you had to pull everybody down. And that's kind of going to be the sentiment that you get from this person, that they're going to sit there and say, well, we need to be just like this. And instead of lifting everybody up, they're going to pull everybody down. And you need to be very discerning with the energy that you let in. Even if everybody sits there and it's like, oh my gosh, this is a great idea. If you don't feel like it is a great idea, stay in your truth. Don't be ornery, don't be argumentative, because that can lead you to a set of problems during this time, because people are going to be like, why, this is so awesome. What don't you agree with it? But it's like opening up your eyes and yourself to the discernment of the power that is around you, to be able to say yes or no to these bullies during this time, and not letting them get into your psyche, get into your inner self. It leads you here with dealing with the King of Swords. It leads you to dealing with somebody who's going to be very factual. Now, it's very funny because this could be the same exact person. When they argue with you, when they sit there and say, well, prove it, they're going to want examples, right? And they're going to sit there and say, well, how could you say that? Give me facts. If they're not facts, I don't want it. But on their side of the coin, they're going to be completely emotional. They're going to sit there and say, well, I feel like this, and can't you see I'm having a hard time, and why would you even? And that's going to make things very tricky to try and interact with them. I would actually recommend for this time not interacting with them if you can. If you do interact, kind of list things down, be as calm and be as logical as possible, and maybe even have, kind of somebody standing by you during that time, where you could have either a mediator or you can have somebody who's just standing there. So when you talk, the person, like the look on their face can either be like, wow, that person was being really unreasonable, or like, what's going on? Just to have a balance, just to have sort of an unbiased party forward with you. This is going to be somebody who's very short-tempered, but also uses a lot of emotional manipulation to get what they want. So just be mindful of this. They might actually have anger management problems going on, so just be very mindful of not falling into that. Now, if you're leading, okay, so this is going to sound a bit rude, but if you're leading a whole group of people during this time, and it doesn't matter how you're leading them, a CEO of a company, on the sales floor, it doesn't matter at all. But what matters is the way that you connect, because there can be this very sense of feeling overwhelmed and being like, it has to be like this. Have a little give and take and listen to what people are saying, not so that, nothing can get done, but just so that, first of all, they feel valued, because this is a time where a lot of people aren't feeling valued, and so that you can see where they're coming from with things, or just start to listen to what they're saying around you, how they're interacting around you, and be very fair for you. Like, sit there and look at the collective and say, how can we raise this up? How can we better? Like, what are the individual strengths, and how can we make this into a collective strength? So, it's not going to be like everybody has to be exactly the same. It's going to be utilizing everybody to the best of your abilities. So, and that's just something that Spirit is saying. So here with the Five of Voice, you're running up against people that you've run up against before. Now, this can actually be the same person, but this is most likely the energy that you're coming up against. And again, it's very controlling, it's very manipulative, it's rather angry. And it's like, how do you deal with this energy? How do you look at this energy? How do you open up and learn where you want to be, where you want to stand, what it is that you desire? So with the Five of Voice, with the Five of Swords, it's being tested, because you're going to find that you're shaking off a lot of the past. You're shaking off a lot of the doubts, the fears, the anger, and you're saying, this is me. And it's going to take a lot of strength to say, this is me. I'm not going to be bullied around. I'm not going to lose sight of what it is that I desire. I'm not going to be overwhelmed by anybody else. This is simply me. And this is what I want. And so as you move forward, during this time when you meet with opposition, they're going to want to make you feel inadequate. They're going to want to make you feel overwhelmed. They're going to want to sit there and belittle you. Don't let them. Seriously, don't. Because it's going to rock your foundation. It's going to make you not see the way that you're setting up the alignment, or the way things are moving into alignment, so that you can kind of knock down the dominoes and have things fall into place. With the Three of Inspiration, there is a sense here of, because of having to to face this heartbreak, this anger, this fear, this disappointment, or kind of living these situations time and time again. It's like, okay, what's the common denominator? What is it that I'm supposed to learn? How is it that things start to go pear-shaped? And why is it that things start to go pear-shaped? And then all of a sudden, you start to see the world opening up to you. You start to see a new horizon coming forward because you've made connections that divinity has been waiting for you to make. You're sitting there and not looking at it as if it's my fault. You're looking at it as, what do I have to learn? What do I have to gain? How do I move forward? Where is it that I need to be? It brings in the prosperity. So it's not like you have to, change jobs, run away, join the circus, anything like that. It's like you're looking at what it is that you desire. You're looking at what it is that you need. And by changing the way that you're approaching things, being very discerning with the energy you let around you, being very mindful of your power forward and cutting through a lot of doubts and fears and saying, this is what I want. And emotionally connecting with the power of your voice, the power of yourself, and saying, the only person I have any control over is me. And by having this control over me, my actions, my perceptions, myself, I can open the door to where I need to be, to what it is that I desire, to who it is that I am. It leads you to the Ace of Materials. The Ace of Pentacles here is a gift from divinity coming in. Now, you've always had this view of things can go one of two ways, right? And we usually have this. You can either be to be successful, you could be a doctor or a lawyer. You can either be, you could either, Spirit is saying, like, work, it's like be a mother or be a career person. We always think we have to choose, or be a father or be a career person. We try to balance it all, but there's always these roads, and they're usually based off of what we see within our lives. And it's like, okay, you can either do A or B. But what if you start to step back and say, well, I don't want to be just A or just B. I want more for my life. I want more for myself. And so the gift of prosperity that's coming in is also this gift that's starting to break down the walls that are around you, the walls that are around us as a society when it comes to success. It's like success doesn't have to be one of two ways. Success can be very individualized, very, personal, very powerful, very, very much you. And so this is a time where you start to see and care for the seeds that you have planted within yourself, the dreams that you have, the hopes that you have, the desires that you have. Now, you might have a job that is there to pay the bills. It might not be your passion, but, it gets things done, right? There are bills to pay, mouths to feed, and that's good in life. When you uphold your responsibilities, that's something to be astoundingly proud of. But you also need something that speaks to your soul, that speaks to your heart, that speaks to yourself, that calls you forward. So with having the job, if that doesn't have the spark in it for you, that you need to embrace your creative self. It's having a hobby on the side that really does speak to you. And you might sit there and say, Dane, between work, between kids, between, everything, or even just the sadness that can come over where it's a chore just to get out of bed during the day. And make yourself do what you have to do. So you might be saying there isn't any time for bliss. There isn't any time for the happiness. It's making time. It really is. I'm not saying that to be flippant. I'm not saying that to be aggravating. Make the time to embrace something that you truly love, that truly makes you happy, that brings you just a bit of joy. And I know that things get crazy and people demand your attention left and right all the time. But make a sacred space, even if it's just for 5 minutes, sitting quietly, to embrace you, to check in with your body, to check in with what you need, what you want, what you desire, to open up that door. Because you're going to start to see that even though you only thought there were two ways forward, there becomes many more ways forward to embrace your prosperity, to embrace your success, to call you forward. And it's like, now is the time to be brave and look at it. It brings you to this warrior mentality, to this sense of, I'm going after what I need, what I want, what I desire. And this is going to be a time, because you do have the Emperor here too, where you're not really going to want to take direction from others. It's going to be a time where you want to act, you want to embrace, you want to look at, you want to develop, you want to be. So just know that when people try to tell you what to do, it may very well go against your grain. So if you have somebody coming in and saying things that like you don't really understand, or you need them to rewind, ask them to rewind. Don't sit there and think, oh, I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to know it. Embrace the mystery that is unfolding, Capricorn, because it's going to lead you forward. Passionately, it's going to lead you forward within your career in a way that you hadn't anticipated, in a way that you hadn't thought possible. And it starts to become your possibilities. It starts to become your truth. There's a fire to you during this time. There's a sense of, I'm worth it. It's like, take the lead. Somebody has to. Nobody gets the right to lead your life but you. This is looking at your soul and yourself and what you desire and taking the lead to who you are and where you want to be and what you are developing and what you need within your psyche, with what you need within your life to promote joy, to promote peace, to promote prosperity. And then it's gallantly moving forward in that. It's fiercely saying, this is my truth, and being a warrior of that truth. This is a time where you're really releasing yourself from a lot of the pain, a lot of the hurt that held you back, but also connecting with the energy around you and seeing how intensely that does affect you. Because Capricorn, you like things to be ordered and neat and proper and good, right? And so to think that other people's chaos can affect you can be disconcerting, at the very least. During this time, knowing that it's not only other people, it's not only the people that we surround ourselves with, but it's our environment, it's the weather, it's, so much more. It's, lack of sleep and not taking time to be within your own body. That is going to be one of the greatest challenges for you, because once you can sit there and kind of hold your hands up in celebration and say, this is my truth. This is, I almost see this as people walking the lines of music, right? This is my song. This is my being. This is my understanding. You start to become so much more empowered, and it starts to become so right, right? Instead of, it's always such a fight. So let's see what your subconscious chakra message has to say. Abundance. Yeah, subconsciously. Connecting with your root chakra, you're connecting with abundance. There is supposed to be abundance within your life. Money or something you value as much as money coming forward, bringing prosperity, bringing bounty, bringing blessings. It's connecting with that abundance. Even if you're looking at it and thinking, oh my gosh, this is so silly. Who's going to listen to me? I can't believe that I'm even thinking of doing this. Okay, just go. Just go. Just do it. Just try it. It might take a very long time to get to where you want to be within what brings you joy, but it might not. And you might find twists and turns along the way that bring you on a road that you never expected. It then leads you to your person energy, which is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is able to combat the King of Swords. The Queen of Swords knows her truth, knows where she stands, knows what she says. She is fierce and powerful. These are the warrior, king, and queen. So you come up against a warrior, but you yourself are a warrior. You cut through the doubts, the fears, the angers, the upsets, the disappointments. You stay in your element. You embrace your elemental truth, and you move forward in that power. It brings you to your subconscious tarot message, which is inspiration. The Seven of Inspiration, the Seven of Wands. It's knowing when to pick your fights. It's sitting there and saying, if I step on every stone, I will not get to the other side. It's looking at what is important. It's looking at the battles that come your way and knowing the ones that are simply there to steal your energy and knowing the ones that are absolutely vitally important to you. Where does your soul stand? What is your soul's truth? How do you embrace that? How do you move that forward within your life, within yourself? Choose your battles wisely here, Capricorn. Because, and it can be right here against a Cancer. So those slips are never by accident. And claim your power forward. Do not let others waste your energy, Capricorn. Don't. All right, Capricorn. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of your positive energy as you overcome battles and as you move forward in your ferocity and are stunned by the outcome waiting for you. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Capricorn.